Magic the Gathering is a deck-master game where your favorite characters from television shows, movies, and even video games have been turned into collectible cards that can battle against one another. If you've ever wanted to see Doctor Who get hit with a boogie bomb and then have a Fortnite dance battle with Chun-Li from Street Fighter, or maybe just watch Optimus Prime put on the One Ring to fight against Leonardo da Vinci before he can create a squadron of Daleks set to exterminate Hugh Grant, then Magic the Gathering is the pop culture product for you. Some Magic the Gathering cards even feature original characters of their own, from astronauts to cowboys to 1920s mobsters who are all connected in one singular shared universe by magical walkways known as omen paths. Many of these Magic the Gathering cards are exceptionally rare, which makes them great collectibles, so you may be tempted to keep them locked away in a temperature-controlled safe. But, believe it or not, you can actually play with your Magic the Gathering cards. It's true! Although playing a game of Magic the Gathering is far from easy, but don't worry, I'm here to help. Obviously, you can't just play a game of Magic the Gathering by reading the cards. There is a lot of extra information that you need to know, but that's where this video comes in because it will teach you everything you need to know about Magic the Gathering. In order to play with Magic the Gathering cards, you first need to know the rules, the 291 pages worth of comprehensive rules. Let's read those right now. Got all that? Good, because it's about to get a lot more complicated from this point forward. That's because it's hard to know what a Magic card does, since many Magic the Gathering cards either don't actually do what they say, don't actually say what they do, or don't have what they do written in any way that can be clearly read. Many Magic the Gathering cards don't even have text on them, though many others have text on both sides of them, while still others have text in a make-believe fantasy language, or only have text available in Italian. So figuring out what a Magic the Gathering card actually does is not always simple. Even when you can easily read a Magic the Gathering card, you may still not easily understand what it does. Sometimes the rules text is very long, or so long that it needs to be printed on both sides of the card, or sometimes the text on the card simply is not all you need to know in order to know how the card works. Despite how confusing it is to try and figure out just what a Magic card does, many people still try their best to play a game of Magic the Gathering with friends at their local Walmart or Amazon warehouse. So besides memorizing over 26,000 cards, what exactly do you need in order to play a game of Magic the Gathering? The first thing you're going to need to do is build a Magic the Gathering deck, unless you're playing limited, in which case the first thing you're going to need to do is buy 3 to 6 booster packs, depending on if you are drafting or playing sealed. But if you are not playing limited, you'll need to put together a deck with no fewer than 60 cards and no more than 4 copies of any given card that isn't a basic land. You'll also need a 15-card sideboard that you will use to adjust your deck. Of course, if you're playing Commander, you won't have a sideboard, and instead of the 60-card deck I just described, you'll need an exactly 99-card deck that has no more than 1 copy of each non-basic land card, plus a legendary creature that you've selected for your commander. But not one of these legendary creatures. Despite being legendary, you cannot have a Planeswalker as your commander, unless the Planeswalker says you can have it as your commander, in which case you can have it as your commander. And you can only have 1 legendary as your commander, unless your legendary says partner, in which case you can have 2 commanders, any 2 cards that say partner, unless your partner commander says partner with, in which case it can only partner with the specific legendary that it named. You can also have a companion in addition to your commander or partner commanders, meaning that you can essentially have 3 commanders. And if your commander says you can pick a background, then you can also begin with a background card in the command zone. So that's simple, right? When building a deck, it is important to make sure that all the cards you use are legal in the format you are playing. This can be tricky because even if you open a pack of standard cards, not all cards in the pack of standard cards are allowed to be played in standard. That's because packs of standard might have bonus sheets or list cards that cannot be played in the format, although they can be played in limited. You might even open up an art card which has no text on it and is not a real Magic card, even though there are real Magic cards with no text on them. You cannot play with art cards, but they are included in every play booster. Art cards are actually for collecting, but they are not found in collector's boosters. Got your deck together? Great. Now besides a deck, what else do you need during a game of Magic the Gathering? In order to play, your cards will need to be in card sleeves. Make sure your card sleeve has an opaque back, because if you can see through the card sleeve, you might be able to see your many double-sided cards, and that would get you disqualified. When sleeving your deck, make sure that your card sleeves are not just the same color, but the same color, brand, and type of sleeve. Otherwise, your deck won't be uniform, which also would get you disqualified. You should also have a playmat to play on and a deck box to hold your cards. You'll need the correct tokens for the many different types that your cards will make, so make sure you have at least 4 of each kind. While many of your cards may make things like angel tokens, goblin tokens, flying shark tokens, and boo tokens, almost every deck these days makes treasure tokens, food tokens, blood tokens, map tokens, clue tokens, and squirrel tokens. So you might want to make sure you have 2 play sets for each of those. If you aren't lucky enough to open one of the many tokens you will need in one of your play booster packs, don't feel bad. Tokens are actually really rare in play booster packs. But don't worry, you can always purchase tokens individually, such as this Goblin Shaman token or Shrine token, which are selling for about $8 each. Since play boosters have so few tokens, many Magic the Gathering players just use the art cards as tokens, or you can always use one of the many ad cards that are also included in boosters. Just be sure you have some way of differentiating them from one another if they each represent a different token, or a set of tokens that are summoning sick, or a set of tokens that are modified in some way. You can also use buttons, a torn-up receipt, or a ketchup packet as a token. And if you think that can make it hard to understand what the board state is, just remember what the rest of your Magic cards probably look like. You'll also need a way to keep track of your life. A D20 for dice rolls, a coin for coin flips, and a handful of D6s to be used as counters. Be careful with these die counters though, because sometimes cards will have multiple different kinds of counters on them. You wouldn't want to get a +1/+1 counter confused with a -1/-1 counter, let alone a -0/-1 counter, would you? Nor would you want to confuse a flying counter with a vigilance counter, a trample counter with a death touch counter, or a hexproof counter with an indestructible counter, or a shield counter, or a brick counter. That's why it's always a good idea to use the official punch-outs that came in some packs of some sets from a few years ago. During a game of Magic, you may be asked to take the initiative, enter a dungeon, become the monarch, open an attraction, or put a sticker on one or more of your cards. That means you will also need a copy of each dungeon card, as well as a monarch token, an attractions deck, and a stickers deck. An attraction deck is a set of attraction cards that you'll get to play with during a game. In a constructed game, your attraction deck must contain at least 10 attraction cards, and may not have more than one of any specific attraction card. If you open an attraction, you put the top card of your attraction deck onto the battlefield. If that attraction is destroyed, don't put it in your graveyard, put it in the junkyard. Ha ha ha! Wonderful! Roll a 6-sided die as your main phase begins, and then visit each attraction you have in play with the result of your roll lit up. Fantabulous! If you forget these rules, don't worry. There's an attraction reminder token on the back of each attraction. The attraction reminder token says wonderful and fantabulous. That way you can remember that you are having a wonderful and fantabulous time playing Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering is a game that also uses stickers, so you're gonna need to have a sticker deck. Your sticker deck is a selection of sticker sheets that you must choose before you start playing the game. Stickers let you modify the text on your card anytime you are asked to put a sticker on it. If you don't come prepared with your sticker sheets, but a card asks you to put a sticker on it, you'll need to visit magic.wizards.com/en/unresources to generate 3 sticker sheets for use in that game only. All of which is why I always need to have a stable internet connection in order to play Magic the Gathering. I can't imagine playing Magic the Gathering without being connected to the internet. I mean, I need to be able to look up what my cards do, what my opponent's cards do. I need to see which cards are banned, which cards do different things than they say, which cards are legal in my format, which cards I should get to put in the deck that I need to play, and which booster packs have which cards in them. Of course, some cards will never be in any booster packs. No, silly, those cards aren't banned. They're on what's called the reserve list. You'll need them to play certain formats, and they'll never be printed again. Luckily, Wizards of the Coast has printed real, fake versions of these reserve list cards that they won't print again. You can't actually play with these official fake cards in real tournaments, but you can always have a fake tournament with friends from the privacy of your own home. It's not like Wizards of the Coast will send armed thugs to your door, except for the one time that they actually did that. These official fake cards are much cheaper than their real counterparts, such as this official fake tropical island that you can't actually play with, costing $220 instead of the $300 that the real version costs. The version you can play with. You just saved $80 by buying a card you can't play with. You can also play Magic the Gathering online on Magic the Gathering Arena, or enter the arena on Magic the Gathering Online, which are, of course, different platforms with similar, but different, gameplay features and capabilities. On Magic Arena, you may encounter some cards that do not have real paper counterparts. These arena-only cards are known as Alchemy cards, and often include mechanics that cannot be translated to the paper game. Some of these cards can turn into different versions of themselves. Sometimes these cards have the same art and a similar name as a paper version of the card, but they do something entirely different, so it's a good idea to look over all the Alchemy cards, remember what they all are and what they all do, that way you don't ever get confused. Some of these arena-only cards also have even more text than you'd see on a paper Magic card. Yes, thanks to technology, that is possible, meaning you'll need to scroll down on their text box in order to read everything they do. Also, some Alchemy cards have been changed to make them stronger or weaker online. So don't assume that just because you know what a card in paper does, that you know what that card does on Magic Arena. And there you have it. That's everything you need to know about Magic the Gathering, or is it? Because did you take a look at today's date? That's right, April Fools. It's just a joke. Can you imagine if any of what I just said was actually true? Or rather, should I say April Fools in saying April Fools, because it's all real. Everything I said in this video is true. That's right, the April Fools was my saying April Fools just now at the end. There was no April Fools, except my saying April Fools. Yep. If you enjoyed learning everything there is to know about Magic the Gathering, then be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are almost at 1 million subscribers, but I need you to get there. Hit subscribe, share this video with a friend, leave a comment. And remember, the academic deck box is available at retail right now. This is at your local game store. You can pick up your very own academic wherever Gamegenic products are sold. So if you're looking for a deck box that I helped design, a deck box for everyone, look no further than your local game store, and that is no April Fools. Nor was anything else in this video. It was all technically true. That was the joke, or perhaps the horror. It was all technically true. Happy April!
couple and pairs up the stairs, crumpets and tea, next time on Shuffle Up and Play.
Today, we are doing an educational game of Commander. We are going to teach you what a level 8 Commander deck is.
Hi, I'm Lewis Stardust. Today I'm playing Miriam, Sentinel Worm.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Joe Johnson, and today I am playing Preston Garvey, new Fallout Commander.
I'm Vince, also as Peasant Kenobi on the internet, the milkiest man in esports entertainment, and today I'm playing Mono White Outdoor Adrium.
And since we are playing level 8 decks, I'm on slivers!
If I blow up all your slivers, would it upset you?
Do you not see what is on Lua's board?
You
Lua
lose
has
5
no
lives.
lands! Lua has no lands!
Oh no, but what's that instead of the land?
Are you gonna be sad if your sliver dies? Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna be sad if my sliver dies.
still gonna do it.
Yeah! A hole is an absence of donut.
No, not a ring donut.
Yeah, like
A
a
donut doesn't have a hole.
How did the jam get in? They
puts
didn't
it-
teleport it in, prof.